Coming up, a Perry County community comes together to remember 3 young lives.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The FBI says human remains found in a wildlife area outside of Sarasota, Florida, belong to Brian Laundrie. He was the sole suspect in the disappearance of his fiancée, Gabby Petito, whose body was found last month in Wyoming. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has the latest.
The FBI says dental records confirm remains found at a Florida wildlife preserve and park are those of Brian Laundrie. The remains, as well as a backpack and notebook believed to belong to Laundrie, were discovered Wednesday in an area the FBI said was underwater during earlier searches. Thursday, authorities continued to search the area.
These are very, very difficult conditions. I mean, you're searching in areas that you just can't walk up and look. It's not like you're searching a house or a car. These areas are huge and they're covered by water.
23-year-old Laundrie was reported missing more than a month ago, 2 weeks after returning home alone to Florida from a cross-country road trip with his fiancée, Gabby Petito. As they traveled, the couple blogged the good times, but there were concerning incidents like this 911 call.
We drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
And the Utah traffic stop that followed it.
Hi, we've just been fighting this morning. Some personal issues.
22-year-old Petito's family reported her missing on September 11th. Just over a week later, her body was located near Wyoming's Grand Teton National Park, which the couple had visited together. The coroner said Petito's body was in that spot for up to a month and concluded she died of strangulation. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Laundrie was charged in a federal Wyoming indictment with unauthorized use of a debit card. It alleged Laundrie used a Capital One bank card and someone's personal identification number to make unauthorized withdrawals or charges worth more than $1,000.
Well, we've been watching that cold front work its way through the mountains this evening. That has really led to a few of those showers and storms, but thankfully they're now working on out of the region. Outside from our camera at the University of Virginia, Ad Wise, you see the cloudiness and even the few showers that we had along that frontal boundary as it moved through, or at least the leading edge of the frontal boundary. A little bit of fog trying to show up on our camera at I-75 at Mount Vernon there, so right along that exit there as well. So that's something to keep an eye on through the overnight. Highs today before the rain hit were quite mild, low to mid-70s in many spots. Look at Monticello, Prestonsburg, Ashland taking the cake at 75 today. Pinpoint Doppler out there. We're still watching a couple of showers through parts of Pike and Letcher counties this evening between Dorton and on down to Cumberland as well. That should have mostly missed downtown Whitesburg, but still to keep an eye on the last of these as they move on out of here. So we're going to be set for a much drier overnight. Patchy fog, though, especially in areas that saw some of that rain today. That's going to be an issue as lows drop down into the upper 40s. We got a little bit more rainfall on the way, though, before the weekend is out, and I'll have the details on that coming up in just a bit. Steve?
Yeah, already some fog out there when I came back from dinner, so be careful tonight. A Letcher County teacher was convicted of producing child pornography and cyber stalking a student by a federal jury on Wednesday. Charles Evans Hall Jr. was convicted following 30 minutes of deliberations after a 3-day trial. Hall coerced a child into making a secret Snapchat account where he would have her send him explicit pictures and videos. After his phone was confiscated by Kentucky State Police, he began contacting the girl on Instagram and eventually on Facebook to have her destroy evidence and try to get her to change her statement, which prompted the cyberstalking charges. Hall will be sentenced on February 22nd. He faces a maximum of 35 years in prison. It is a staggering increase. The CDC reports overdose deaths are up 30% from last year. West Virginia and Kentucky are the second and third states respectively seeing the biggest increase in overdose deaths. West Virginia seeing a 62% increase in overdose deaths and 57% for Kentucky. But the question is why? Officials say COVID-19 increased isolation, bringing on anxiety, depression, and economic insecurity. But there's also another factor. Matt Brown from Addiction Recovery Care says the access to lethal drugs has grown.
The supply chain of drugs is trending back towards more deadly fentanyl, high-powered meth, and all of those factors combined are creating these numbers that we've never seen before in terms of overdose deaths.
On the flip side of this, Brown did say more people have been reaching out for treatment and there is more accessible care. Still mourning the deaths of 3 former students, community members in Buckhorn came together tonight to reflect and remember. WYMT's Corey Sanning was at the vigil.
After the deaths of 3 former Buckhorn school students, Annabelle Abner felt compelled to step up and bring the community together in their honor.
I was burdened, and I was praying, and I thought, God, what will help our community? And I just thought, a ceremony.
That need to bring people together led to a candlelight vigil at the school's baseball field Thursday night, an idea teacher Valerie Dixon was quick to get behind.
She asked if we could do something here at the school, and, we're close-knit community here, and so we were all for letting them do that.
The 3, Christopher Jaden Miller, Mackenzie Skylar Gwynn, and Bobby Wayne Sizemore, all graduated from Buckhorn within the past few years. Gwynn and Sizemore died due to complications from COVID-19, while Miller was the victim of an accidental shooting.
It really hits home because we were all close together in a small community, and it's a comfort and time, to come together as one and just talk to each other and tell their stories, have a good time together.
People throughout the community joined their friends and loved ones on the field, lighting candles, telling stories, and flashing the scoreboard in honor of their friends. A small community coming together to remember 3 of their own in a big way.
I've always been told that Buckhorn doesn't have anything, we're just small, but we do have something. We have a family, and we are the family.
A moment Dixon says was much needed.
I think it's going to be a relief, and it's going to be a happy moment. I know it's a sad occasion, but the kids need this.
Trying to help families, friends, and a community. In Buckhorn, Corey Sanning, WYMT Mountain News.
While the families did not want to talk on camera, they all said they appreciate the outpouring of support. As the pandemic continues, faculty and staff have noticed a trend in students' mental health. Officials in the Floyd County school system say they are aware of the many things students could be dealing with outside of the classroom as well as within the school's walls. Following the passing of Senate Bill 1, Floyd County Schools placed school counselors on every campus in the county to try and make sure kids have the proper resources if they are feeling down.
You're not alone. And the problem may seem large, but oftentimes if you communicate it and someone's understanding and they're supporting you, we'll get through this together. And it'll be fine. It will be fine over time.
Fannin says the pandemic has definitely brought to light many mental health issues. We talked to college leaders today who say they're seeing an increase in enrollment compared to last year. They also encourage students to fill out a FAFSA application. The free application for federal student aid allows colleges to determine a student's federal aid ability and often helps colleges award their own awards to students. The leaders say students should not skip out on it,
because they may be eligible for some type of grants or scholarships. And the more grants and scholarships you have, of course, the difference between a grant and scholarship and a loan is you don't have to pay a grant or scholarship back.
You can opt out of filling out the FAFSA, but college leaders say they advise against that because students need all the help they can get when going to college. The Commonwealth of Kentucky has the lowest workforce percentage rate of any neighboring state except West Virginia. A program called Bus to Business through the Kentucky Chamber Workforce Center aims to improve that by targeting students in elementary through high school. Officials say the program is working, and as an added benefit, it could keep rural Kentuckians working at home.
A lot of times students don't know what's right down the street and what opportunities are available to them. So I definitely think this could help keep students in rural communities and not flock to the larger, more metropolitan areas.
Chamber officials say the program started 3 years ago with 1,200 students participating, but after moving online, it has more than 40,000 students. The Somerset community celebrated a broadband expansion project today. More than 8,000 locations will now have access to dedicated fiber through Kinetic Windstream Internet. The new high-speed internet will help rural areas and comes at a great time as more people are working from home. Officials say this helps put rural areas on even ground with the rest of the world.
Access to fiber does many things for the community. It allows economic development. It allows small businesses to thrive. It also increases property values. Studies have shown up to 5%.
Community members are also looking forward to the $1.5 million from the FCC and their Rural Digital Opportunity Fund for broadband in their rural homes. Whitesburg city manager has been making waves in eastern Kentucky with his side business. Formed 5 years ago with his wife, the food truck Cottle Corn has been gaining popularity in the mountains. After attending several events across eastern Kentucky, owner Chris Cottle says they go through quite a bit of corn to meet demand.
I hear popcorn popping in my sleep. We do quite a bit. You know, the average event, I probably pop 70 to 80 pounds during a 4 to 6 hour period, just depending on how busy we are.
Cottle says they've started using the newfound popularity to help out with upcoming fundraisers. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, a goal to improve your drive, but coming at a price at the pump.
And our pattern looks to stay unsettled for much of the next week or so. I'll have the very latest details straight ahead.